Hey, I'm Alexander Chaffey. I thought I'd share my story and let you all know why Alexander's hope means so much to me, and why events like this are so important. A little over 4 years ago, at the age of 19, I was writing an essay in my dorm room and began to feel a small ache in my chest. The pain escalated, and before I knew it, my roommate had driven me to the ER. I was diagnosed with anxiety and told I had just had a panic attack. Over the next few months, my family and I tried to remedy this new anxiety disorder that I had suddenly developed. I saw psychologists, got prescribed medications, received massages, and meditated. Anything in an effort to mitigate the onset of these painful episodes. Another episode of chest pains happened when I was at a friend's house one night, and I was eventually driven home by my parents, chest aching throughout the whole night. As far as we knew, this was just how panic attacks worked. Soon after, on a family hiking trip, I experienced the worst of my supposed panic attacks. We were hiking at Arches National Park in Utah, specifically to the iconic Delicate Arch. We all reached the top, where I ran around, took pictures, and enjoyed the gorgeous scenery. From there, I never made it all the way back down, on my feet anyhow. Partway through our descent from the top, I began to feel an immense pain in my chest. I called out to my mom, who was nearest to me, and my legs gave out. My family quickly surrounded me and laid me down on a flat rock beneath a small tree out of the sun. I sat under that tree for nearly a few hours as my sisters ran down to get a park ranger. The ranger arrived and performed some tests, and I was eventually wheeled down the mountain on a stretcher by a team of rangers. When I reached the bottom, I felt well enough to walk again. I participated in some more of the hikes throughout the trip, though with significantly less energy, and I wasn't able to complete some of them. I later learned that I had experienced a massive heart attack that day. My mother grew increasingly concerned, and after we returned home, she had me get a blood test. Early the next morning, she received an urgent call. The woman who administered the blood test was extremely concerned and wanted us to meet with her immediately. We met, and I was told that my liver was greatly enlarged and that its enzymes were way off the charts. I was told to quickly get to a medical imaging center. I arrived and was evaluated, though before I was able to get the second scan, the doctor pulled my parents aside and let them know something was extremely wrong with me and that I needed to get to an emergency room as soon as possible. At the hospital, I was told that I needed a heart valve replacement and was referred to the University of Washington Medical Center for the surgery, arriving by ambulance. I spent the night there, and in the morning I was on my way to receive a coronary angiogram. I was supposed to see my parents again in an hour after the imaging was complete and told them I'd see them soon. Shortly afterwards, I flatlined on the table and had to be resuscitated. I had the surgery for the heart valve and was placed on ECMO, a blood circulating machine, for nearly a week before doctors decided that my heart was still not beating sufficiently. The next thing I remember was that I awoke slowly, hallucinating severely from the anesthesia, in a hospital bed, atrophied and unable to move or speak, with an artificial heart pumped away inside of my body. It took me a few days before the anesthetic had worn off enough to comprehend the situation I was in and to realize just what that loud machine I was connected to really was. For about a month or so, I remained on the artificial heart and was able to get onto the transplant list relatively quickly. After only 8 days of being listed, on September 9th, 2017, I received a heart transplant. Within about another month or so, I was admitted back home to recover and get my life back on track. I am eternally grateful to the wonderful doctors, nurses, and other folk who helped me to get through my days in the hospital. I'm also grateful for my ever-supportive and loving family for always being there, my friends for visiting me, and my roommate for taking the initial situation into his hands and helping me through it. All the people that heard about my situation, who prayed or otherwise hoped for my recovery, I cannot thank you all enough either. My final thanks will go out to the as of yet unknown person who generously donated their organs and whose heart I received. All funds donated tonight go directly towards youth heart screenings and make sure that what happened to me doesn't happen to anybody else. I'm Alexander, and thank you for being here tonight.